Well, Bill Clinton is throwing his weight against the Defense of Marriage Act just weeks before it goes to the Supreme Court. Colleen McCain-Nelson has the latest for us, and she joins us. Thanks so much for being here, Colleen.
Thanks for having me.
So why is Bill Clinton throwing his weight around this now?
Well, it's interesting. It's kind of a mea culpa, I screwed up from Bill Clinton, saying in the Washington Post in an op-ed that he wrote today, saying, I signed the Defense of Marriage Act and now I think that the Supreme Court should overturn it. And basically he says, it was only 17 years ago that he signed it, but he argues that it was a very different time then, that same-sex marriage wasn't recognized in any state. And he compares the question about gay marriage to some other civil rights cases that have gone before the Supreme Court in the past, and says that this is kind of a crossroads for the country, and he urges the court to strike down the law that he signed.
And of course, being a politician, we always think there is a political motivation behind their actions. What is it, do you think, that he's hoping to gain by doing this right now? Obviously, the case is going before the Supreme Court March 27th. So what is he hoping to gain, or where does he hope this will put him in sort of the history of this fight?
Right. Well, I think history is kind of the key. I think probably Bill Clinton doesn't want to be on the wrong side of history, and it's very clear that public opinion has shifted. We've seen a lot of court decisions that have moved us toward more recognition of same-sex marriage. 9 states already recognize same-sex marriage, as well as the District of Columbia, and so there's a lot of movement in that direction. And so I think this is a chance for Bill Clinton to kind of wipe the slate clean on what he did on this, and not find himself ultimately on the wrong side of history.
And where does this go from here? Obviously, the case is going to court. Is there, do you think, more momentum in Washington now for overturning the Defense of Marriage Act?
There absolutely is. The Obama administration also has weighed in, urging the court to overturn the Defense of Marriage Act. We've seen a brief filed by some of the nation's largest companies making arguments in favor of same-sex marriage, basically saying that the Defense of Marriage Act forces them to treat some of their married employees differently and essentially discriminate against them because of this law. We've even seen some Republicans come out in favor of same-sex marriage in recent weeks. So there's definitely momentum on that side, but obviously the court is looking at this as a legal issue and not just kind of taking the temperature of public opinion.
All right, Colleen, thanks so much for bringing that to us this morning. We appreciate it.